Welcome everybody and welcome back to Dr. Tosin Surgery. I'm back with another episode and today I've got a special guest with me. I've got a long-time friend by the name of Dr. May Ikeora. Now if you don't know Dr. May, she is an ex-beauty queen. She was Miss West Africa in 2003, I think.
Yeah.
Don't let the looks fool you. She's also a full-time academic and an entrepreneur, and she's the CEO of Laviana Skin Naturals. She also runs her own independent consultancy firm and deals with anti-human trafficking, women's rights,
and peace
gender
building.
and peace building. Very, very long title. Also has, according with her portfolio, she's also an author, and she's got a book called The Bilateral Cooperation of Human Trafficking. There was a longer part of the title there, and I'm like, I wasn't going to remember that.
It's a bilateral cooperation between the UK and Nigeria on eradicating human trafficking.
Good. So you see, that is quite a lot, big portfolio, and well accomplished lady, as you can see. Today, though, we are focusing more on skin health. We're talking about skin hyperpigmentation, and just a brief rundown. Hyperpigmentation is what I would define it as increased darkening of the skin in patchy areas, can be irregular and scattered all around the body. There are many causes, quite a lot of causes, but for this instance, we're focusing on straightforward, simple, inflammatory causes, things like sun exposure, I think, and the other things I think you'd mentioned. So just before we go on into that, if you don't mind just giving us a bit of history, how you got here and what's been happening so far.
So I was talking about how I got into skincare.
Yes.
So I've always been a skincare enthusiast, and just after my PhD, I just thought I should explore that area a bit more. I said to I started a training actually somewhere in London to get to know about making skincare products, natural skincare products. I did that with Formula Botanics, and I did that with Naturally Thinking and other skincare company where they kind of teach you how to run a skincare business. I didn't think I was going to start a business. I just wanted to start a hobby. I used to make soaps at home and make creams that I use at home, and then one day I thought, you know what, let me just make this accessible to people. And just little by little, before I knew what I was doing, I'd already started a business, and it's basically sprung up from that.
And that's
that gave birth to Laviana.
That's what the Laviana Skin Naturals is.
Yes.
That brings us to where we are today. So before we go further, skincare, we're talking about hyperpigmentation. You do have some interest in hyperpigmentation, if I'm correct. And what would you say about it generally, as related to? I'm talking more with in relation to Nigerian black women. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, hyperpigmentation is one of the most common skincare issues that we find in the skincare industry, especially for women of color. So it's not just for African women. You can find that with Asian women as well, because we do produce more melanin than our Caucasian fellows. And there are very different reasons why we get hyperpigmentation, and some of them will be about with sun exposure. You find that darker women are more prone to hyperpigmentation than lighter women as well. So you also have issues of hormonal imbalance, and you find out in pregnant women, you find that sometimes they tend to get patches on their skin for different reasons, but also it's also increased production of melanin in certain areas.
It is.
And then also the use of skin whitening products as well, which increases, because people would use this product thinking that they are trying to get themselves lighter. But what happens is that you put your skin at risk, which means that the sun exposure is at higher risk than someone who hasn't used a skin whitening product. And so your skin is basically, what I would usually say, your skin becomes lazy to do what it's supposed to.
Lazy skin.
And that results to hyperpigmentation and all of that.
So going with that, I think the segue from that will be into, we talked about skin lightening. I feel personally there's a pandemic back among brown skin women with the use of skin lightening creams. So where do you stand with that?
Skin lightening, gosh, it's been happening for so long.
It has.
And,
it has.
It's not just a black issue. It's basically an issue that affects women of color. So you find that in Asia, both in in India, even in China, in all of this area,
Okay.
in Korea, but also in Africa. And the difference for us is that for us we do produce way more melanin than all of these other women from other continents.
Yeah.
And it means that we have to do more damage on our skin than they will do, because before we get 5 shades lighter,
You've got to use quite more, isn't it?
Exactly. I think I was reading the other day, WHO said that 70% of skin bleaching products are bought by Nigerians.
Yes, so that brings the factor, because going to bleaching products, one of the main concerns as a doctor that we have is the content.
Yeah.
Like over here in the United Kingdom, one of the components, hydroquinone, is banned for commercial products.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong, it's still in a lot of products back in Nigeria.
Yes, the thing is, I think one of the reasons why it was banned in the UK and some other European countries is because of control.
Yes.
Even though there is quite high regulation on skincare production here, the government still feels like it's necessary to completely eliminate this, because sometimes they might not be able to test all the products.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But in Nigeria, it's regulated at 2%. 2% hydroquinone is actually all right.
Okay.
And sometimes it's used to remedy hyperpigmentation.
Yes.
If used at high dosage. And actually, even in the UK, it's prescribed.
Yes. As a doctor, I can prescribe it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's not like it's completely out of this thing. It's just more regulated.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, you find that you can go. The other day, I just went to the market just to see, because I've never had to buy skincare ingredients in Nigeria. So I just thought, if I'm going to be teaching some people how to make skincare, I need to make sure that they are able to buy the products that is readily available in Nigeria. So I decided to go to one of the markets in Lagos. And I went there and I was trying to buy all these natural ingredients. The seller then asked me, are you not going to buy hydroquinone? I was like, wait a minute, does that still exist in the market? Is it possible to actually buy this? And she said, yes, of course. This lady that just left had just bought some. Like, it's one of the most sought after. And I'm like, this means that a lot of the products we see on Instagram claiming to get you 2 shades or 5 shades lighter in 7 days basically have high dosage of hydroquinone in them.
Wow.
So I don't think there's anything else in the market that can actually get you that shades lighter faster. However, I'm part of a group where we get informed about new technology in skincare ingredients, and they get to use different things so what we in the skincare industry we call natural products.
Yes.
The natural products are not necessarily organic, so they just
pick
products that are made in the lab and are put in a controlled environment to give the products the most natural outcome.
So that's a nice statement. So natural doesn't necessarily mean organic. Wow. See, that's good learning. Good. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes in following those groups, I tend to find that there are new ingredients where they claim to help skin lightening in a safer way.
Okay.
However, again, percentage dosage is a very big thing. So you find a lot of, if you go on Instagram, in fact, the good thing about Instagram is that it gives us the opportunity to make new customers. But however, it also puts a lot of customers at risk because they get to make both good and bad.
The wild west on the Instagram.
Exactly.
It's the wild west.
Exactly. Yeah. So people have to be very careful what they buy on Instagram and make sure that they read their ingredients. However, some people don't tend to put hydroquinone on their labels, even though
it's an ingredient.
An ingredient.
Okay. That's a whole matter entirely for regulatory bodies to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's talking about that. So we talked about the causes. I mentioned sun exposure. We've talked about hormonal imbalance, and we also mentioned you mentioned pregnancy,
which comes up. When you're pregnant,
natural,
sometimes it's natural for
it's natural thing.
To yeah.
If we're to recommend, what would you recommend treatment modalities for women, for instance?
Well, I'll say there should be, first of all, prevention first,
yes.
and then there's treatment. Now, we always know that prevention is better than cure.
It is.
So in terms of like sun exposure, you just have to make sure you use your sunscreen as much as possible, as often as possible.
Yes.
And always avoid the sun. If you don't have to be under the sun, then don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we take it to, obviously, we are speaking, if we consider the West African population, the sun is always out there.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend they protect themselves?
So they still need to use sunscreen. We actually, in La Viana, we actually have a 50 plus SPF.
Okay.
So it's a broad spectrum sunscreen.
Quite broad, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
that they can actually use to protect their face. And since you're someone that's always under the sun, you can use it once or twice a day to make sure that you're protected.
Wow.
You know, and there's so many other sunscreen out there that people can use.
Yes. So one of my colleagues, a dermatologist back home, was actually stating that there is an increasing incidence of skin cancers and skin problems. I wonder if it's something that's been linked to, would I say, the naivety of us Nigerians. Because even personally, me, when I go home, I remember my wife telling me once that, oh, you need to use sunscreen. I'm like, well, I'm black, I don't need sunscreen. How would you respond to that? Because naturally, people with dark skin usually say they don't need sunscreen.
Yeah, I mean, we need more sunscreen because we produce more melanin, to be honest.
Wow.
However, no, but the thing is, one would say, melanin is there to really protect you. So
Yes.
even when you get darker, you just know that your melanin is at work.
Yeah.
So, but in Nigeria, for instance, or Africa, they see the production of melanin as a bad thing. It's not necessarily bad. We might not burn easily, mainly because we are really dark and it's so difficult to find out if you burn.
Yeah.
Whereas our Caucasian fellow would burn easily when they're under the sun.
Yeah.
And because we don't have that kind of quick, direct effect of the sun hitting our skin, we do not know how much the sun is really affecting us. Whereas because our Caucasian fellows might feel the sun faster and then they're able to like rescue their skin faster before we do.
Okay.
So that's like little common sense here and there. But we also, the way we've grown up, our social environment that doesn't really understand some of the damages that we can cause on our skin. So we didn't grow up having to sunbathe or all of that. So you can understand why everyone would think that they don't need sunscreen. But we do need it. We do need it. And the skin cancer bit, I would even assume, because some of us have been predicting that we might have more skin cancer cases in the next 5 to 10 years than we've ever done, mainly because we have an increased level of people, cottage skincare business owners who are making skincare out there, not highly regulated, putting things out there for people to use on their skin without people getting to know what it is. Also, there's a bigger issue, which is the issue of colorism, which is a psychic, it's something that sort of affects the psychic of a lot of black people who believe that, who basically hate their skin color, and they believe that lighter shade is always better, lighter shade is beautiful. And so basically that actually is one of the things that prompts a lot of people
drives them to try this lightning.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an interesting thing. I think that also links to what we're talking about. You mentioned mixing creams, so I'm just going to bring you back there. If I'm correct, does it have to do with the acidity, the pH? Is it something that is the problem? Because the question someone says, I mix creams, what's wrong with that? Does it not to add this product and that product? What advice would you give?
Well, yeah, mixing cream is really a science. And people tend to forget that it's a pure science. It's literally chemistry.
Alchemy, back to alchemy, yeah?
Exactly. So there's a lot, like I said to you earlier in the beginning of the discussion, that I went to study how to mix skincare and did that. The more I learned about it, the more I realized what it takes to actually start to produce for the public.
Wow.
And so what I did was I never produced skincare to sell to anybody.
Okay.
So what I did, I would stay at home, I'll formulate things, see what I like, then work with an R&D department with a chosen contract manufacturer that I said to work with.
Okay.
And then once we get to a point, we get the formulation that we like, we test it and see how, just basically see that it is not hazardous to or dangerous to anyone that uses it. It's clearly tested dermatologically for people to use before we then mass produce.
Okay.
Now, some people don't go through this. the pH balance of your cream is so important.
Ah.
Testing to make sure, because all of this, not trying to see the microbial levels of your cream, all those things, all this, the pH balance also affects all those things, because your skin needs to take on in a certain pH.
Yeah.
On skincare, and you find that even for women like us, we can't use certain soaps down there, mainly because we don't want anything to alter.
It alters the pH
balance.
Yes. I see that. We see that in our practice a lot, where people come with such, they've altered the pH and they get proliferation of things like a yeast infection.
Yes, exactly.
For instance.
So you can imagine, even your practice, that the pH balance of a product can cause an imbalance for a woman. So imagine what it does to the skin.
Yeah.
Because our skin can only take a certain level of pH.
Yeah.
From an external product and all of that. So that's one thing. Also, like the what's it called? I'm trying to get this word. The preservative.
Oh yes, preserving it. Yes.
Yeah, and all of
additives and preservatives.
Preservatives. So all of this, in skincare formulation, these things come in certain percentages.
Yeah.
If someone is mixing cream, let's just use the word mixing cream to be honest, because I don't necessarily think it's the right thing to say, but let's say they need to know all of these things, and sometimes some people don't know. I remember one time in our formulation group, in our skincare formulation group, one time, someone, I think a Nigerian member of the group, so she basically brought this recipe where lemon or the lime she's used in the stuff was like literally 30%.
Wow.
You can't do that.
That's
especially if you're using essential oils. You can't use more than 2% essential oils. But someone has basically utilized 30%.
Wow.
We're looking at a lot of the ratios or percentages that she's used in her recipe was so unreal. And she claims she's been selling to some of her clients. So you can imagine what people are. So we have to be really, really careful when it comes to those mixing
things. So it's about the pH. It's a science, not just an art in the back of your room.
Exactly.
Right.
And you can imagine if it was such the right thing, so much the right thing to do, people like L'Oreal would have been doing it.
Fair enough. Good point. Very good point.
Nobody's doing that. It's quite dangerous.
Yeah. Good point. So we've talked a lot about skincare. You've educated people on how to protect themselves and to use things to use and not to mix creams at the back of your room just for the public. And I think before we go on, I think we've got some of your products here that I wanted to ask you about. Body lotion and things for. Do you have any particular product for helping hyperpigmentation, for instance, or do you have anything that you recommend for people to use to their skin as a natural? If like you had a client that came and said, "I need something to help my skin," what are the things you'd recommend for them?
So in as much as I have my own brand, I also tend to advise people to make sure that at the end of the day, my aim is to make sure that you get the best possible advice. And sometimes it might not even have to do with my product.
Exactly.
Now, but in terms of prevention, we do have products, because our products are mainly preventative products, and only very few of our products are problem solvers.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So, like, we have this Melanin Glow, bestseller. This is a smaller version. This is like 200 grams.
Yeah.
But we have our 400, which is also like one of the best selling one that we have. This comes in a kit with oil and scrub.
Yeah.
And basically it's a total kit that basically helps you get that total body glow. We called it Melanin Glow because we had women of color at the back of our mind when we were creating this, and we know for one, what's so important to have a healthy skin is to make sure you have a moisturized skin on the outside and something to lock in that moisture and keep dragging more moisture to your skin. Yeah. On times like this, there's during this Harmattan season in Africa and winter in Europe, you find that the atmosphere tends to suck out the moisture from our own skin, so your skin gets quite dry. So you need things like this. So this contains hyaluronic acid, which you normally would find in a smaller moisturizer for face moisturizer because it's a very expensive ingredient. But we've added it here because we wanted that woman of color to have an all-round moisture all over her skin. So it's really a luxurious skincare product. It's got a lot of other things in it. It's got mulberry extract, it's got like sweet cherry extract, kojic acid. Those ones are natural brighteners for your
For the
skin.
skin.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what we say, in Africa, women of color, we tend to get darker easily.
Yeah.
And it's a problem for people. Not that people think that they shouldn't get darker sometimes, but they want to still maintain that flawless skin for longer. And that's the reason why, even though we put a lot of moisturizing ingredients in this and, good ingredients to protect your skin, we also have sunscreen on
inside. That's all inclusive.
We also make sure that we address some of the issues that this client talk about, which is maintaining that bright skin, and that's why we have those natural brightness in there. And in terms of hyperpigmentation, we found that this ultra keeps your skin naturally glowy and
to maintain an even tone on the skin.
And people, it's not a would I say fast, get lighter in 2 days kind of, but it's something that with a gradual process, it does what it should do. Usually when people have hyperpigmentation, we always tell them, if you want to deal with it slowly but surely, and sometimes you don't want to go aggressive on your skin. You have to be very, very careful about that, unless you have very severe hyperpigmentation. Every one of us have hyperpigmentation one way or the other.
Okay.
Some of us, it's more severe than others. And different things sometimes you even get it from as small as pricking your skin when you have pimples. So that area kind of darkens. We always recommend our vitamin C product because it's a natural brightener. This one has got 25% dosage of vitamin C, and that's kind of the highest in the market.
Fair enough.
Most of the time you tend to get 20%, which is kind of the recommended one. But we said to do 25, mainly because by the time you buy your vitamin C, which is 20%, is already dropped to 15. And so you see that this bottle being dark is very purposeful. It's very purposeful so that it protects, because vitamin C is kind of immune to light or something. No, not immune to light, but basically
because I'm going to go biodegradation on light.
Photosensitive. Yes, that's the word. Thank you very much. So that's the reason why we use this dark bottle. We never do lighter bottle. So this contains other very, very great anti-aging ingredients as well. Lovely extract, peptides and all of that. It's got hyaluronic acid as well. It's got ferulic acid, which is quite good for helping all the lovely ingredients here to be absorbed into your skin.
Heat absorption.
And very nice. And then we have a face cream, the vitamin C face cream. So basically this is, usually you know about serums, which is they are good for quick and easy absorption. So in serums you can get high concentration of beautiful, very effective ingredients that absorbs quicker into your skin. And sometimes they're not as moisturizing because they're like this one is water based, so it goes into your skin very quickly. So we tend to recommend our vitamin C face cream to lock up the moisture into your skin. So this is something I use. I have them together because I use them all the time, so I travel with them. It's easy to travel with. But something else I always tell people to do when you have severe hyperpigmentation, good to see your dermatologist. Have your sessions, your once in a month facial sessions. You can do a micro dermabrasion on your skin, which is a deeper exfoliation of your skin to help renew the skin as well. You can also, if you're someone that is prone, and some of us are so prone to hyperpigmentation, no matter how many ingredients we use, products we use, we really need to maintain. And I always recommend that you use any product that's got glycolic acid or glycolic acid. There are natural peels, and there are other few
natural peels. I've heard that before.
There are also other like very mild peels that you can like facial peels that you can use. You can also go for a deeper face peel if you want, but that also you have to be very, very careful because the aftercare is so important that you are away from the sun. That's the way you can get the best result. And always use your sunscreen no matter what, because there's one thing to cure hyperpigmentation, but there's you can actually avoid it.
Okay.
You know, so whilst you're treating it, make sure you stay away from the sun, make sure you use your sunscreen, and so that you're not treating hyperpigmentation upon hyperpigmentation, because one is clearing off and
getting something else on top.
Yeah, something else as well.
We definitely do not want that. Right, so thank you very much. So we're going to round up with a quick summary of what we've had so far. I think we've been talking so far about hyperpigmentation, and we've gone through your products. And so are there any other products that you have?
Yes, we do have our acne, anti-acne products.
Okay.
We have one which we call the 7 days spot remover.
Yeah.
So if you are someone that has hyperpigmentation, that's also something we recommend. So usually when people come to us and say, I have acne scars on my skin, which can be hyperpigmented, so we always recommend for them to use our vitamin C as a base, and then to top it up with the 7 day spot remover.
Okay.
And the good thing about the 7 day spot remover is that it actually targets your spots. And what we tell people to do is don't just rub it around your face, just put it on those spots and just take a picture before you start. And 7 days later, look at it. There's usually a very remarkable reduction.
Yeah.
But you know what people do is that they then put
They
this
rub
around
it
your
around,
face, and then you don't tend to see as much difference as you would see. And the good thing about seeing a difference in your face is that it encourages you to continue.
Yeah.
So we always recommend that. We have the face wash, the anti-acne face wash, which is very representative. It's got tea tree in it. It's got turmeric inside it.
And turmeric, very good,
so
anti-inflammatory.
Exactly. So a lot of our products are anti-inflammatory, antioxidants.
Yeah.
Have a lot of antioxidants in them as well, and antibacterial. We have a charcoal black soap that we also sell as well. We have our vitamin C face wash. So go to our website, www.laviana.com, and to find our product. Or you can go to our Instagram page where we are very, very active, which is @laviana_skin.
Okay. So given the website, I'll be putting it in the show notes for everybody to get to laviana.com, and on Instagram,
it's @laviana_skin.
_skin.
Yeah.
All right. If people wanted to reach out to you, how can they get through to you?
You can also find me on Instagram @May Ikeora.
May Ikeora.
Yeah.
Are you on Facebook as well, or it's
I'm
more
on
Instagram?
Facebook, but I'm most active on Instagram.
More active on Instagram. So we'll stick to Instagram for now. So laviana.com and on Instagram. Right, good. So as we close the show, I always ask a power of 3 questions to my guests, and are you happy to answer them?
Yes.
They can be quite
bring it
daunting.
on.
So first question: if you were to name one person that you admire, who would that be?
It would be cliche, but Oprah.
Oprah. Okay, we'll take that. Oprah. She's a popular woman, has inspired a lot of women.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, if you could change one thing in Nigeria, what would that be?
Mindset.
Mindset. Wow. Wow. Now that's a powerful one. I think that a lot of things have to go into that, and that's a big task. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, third question: can you give one life lesson that you've learned the hard way?
I would say never trust anyone completely.
Okay.
Mainly because I also think you can't even trust yourself.
Interesting thought. Never trust anyone completely because you can't even trust yourself on all occasions.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Thank you very much. And it's been a pleasure having you on.
It's
by all means, we will have you back for continuing episodes.
Because we need to talk about your keto adventures.
Oh yes, that is ongoing at the moment. So yes, we need to talk about that, because I think on our next episode, next time we get you back on the show, we will be talking a bit more on centered around things that happened and how you've gone. I think you've done keto as well?
I've done keto before, but today, I think from yesterday, you've really encouraged me so much. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to record my journey, and of course, yours truly will be my coach, whether you like it or not.
Okay, fair enough. Good point there. Thank you very much.
Good.
And see you next time.
See you next time.